So today I want to talk about the newest trend in EDC, and that's utility knives. Yes, I know everyday carry utility knives are nothing new, but there's been a lot of innovative new releases lately, and that's exactly what I want to talk about here. Now, these are just a few of the everyday carry utility knives that I own. Some are very useful and others are very gimmicky, including this guy right here, this Stinger utility knife. I mean, it looks cool and I've seen it all over social media lately, but steer clear from this guy right here. I did a short video on these Stinger utility knives, and honestly, I'm just not a fan. That one and this guy right here with the magnetic sliding mechanism. But then you have knives like the Flip Out that I got from Arena Accessories that I am a huge fan of. I love the Flip Out. And then your standard Gerber utility knife right here. There is things like this two-way automatic utility knife, which is awesome. And then these two butterfly knives, which are very fun, but sort of gimmicky in my opinion. Not really great for everyday carry, but they are full-featured butterfly knives with a utility knife in there. They're really fun, like I said, but I just wouldn't carry them on an everyday basis. But I want to talk about my latest acquisitions right here. This is the Civivi Elementum utility, the Peachy Design G9, and then the Riot XOU. So I'm going to put all of these off to the side over here. I'm going to concentrate on these three utility knives. And it's because of these three utility knives is the reason why I wanted to make this video, because all three of these knives are getting a lot of hype lately, especially these two right here, the Civivi Elementum utility and the Riot XOU. And I did a video on the Peachy Design G9. It's a fantastic utility knife, but I feel like it'll be very popular once it's actually released. But I'll talk about this in a little bit. And I'm wondering why there's been such a turnaround in everyday carry utility knives lately. Well, there's a few reasons for that, I believe. They're very lightweight, very compact, and if you hard use your knives all the time, if you know you're going to go into a job and just beat the heck out of your knife, a utility knife like this is a great option. And the reason is obvious. If you're beating the heck out of your blade, you don't have to go sharpen it between jobs. All you have to do is just remove the blade, replace it, and that's it. And that's the reason why I've made the switch to carrying an everyday carry utility blade as opposed to my $150 to $200 everyday carry knife. Especially if I know I'll be going into a job that's requiring me to beat the heck out of my blade. Now let's take the Civivi Elementum utility, for example here. The reason I like this so much is because it looks like a traditional knife, especially closed. You'd have to get up close and personal just to be able to tell that this is a utility knife. Anodized aluminum handles, a deep carry pocket clip that is tip up and reversible, and because you can deploy the blade with a rear flipper tab right there, dual thumb studs on each side of that blade or that button lock, that makes this an ambidextrous knife. It's super lightweight with these aluminum handles, extremely easy to carry. There's jimping on the spine right there. There's even a lanyard hole right there near the tail. All these reasons why I think the Civivi Elementum utility is one of the best choices available right now for everyday carry. But it has one issue, is that screw right there. I always say for my everyday carry utility knives, it has to have two things. Ease of carry, so it has to have a nice pocket clip, and it has to have an easy way to change out these blades, especially if I'm on a job site. Even though I probably wouldn't carry this on a job site, I consider this more for everyday carry. I like my work utility knives to be a little bit bigger and bulkier, such as something made by DeWalt or a Milwaukee Fastback. But still, the point remains the same. If I'm away from home or if I don't have a T8 screwdriver, which this requires, and I need to change the blade, I'm kind of screwed and out of luck. But the advantage of having that screw right there is that rock solid blade. Look, I'm shaking this, it doesn't move at all. And another thing I like about the Civivi Elementum utility is just how much of that blade is usable right there. If I get in real close right there, you can see almost 90% of that blade is usable. So that's all fantastic. Plus the Civivi Elementum utility is available in multiple different colors. I'm kind of boring. I sort of go for the muted colors all the time, as you can probably already tell. But if you don't like gray or silver, it comes in a lot of different colors. I just so happen to like this gray on this Civivi Elementum. I think it looks great. But now let's talk about this Riot XOU here. The Riot XOU is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. Why? Because of its gravity knife functionality. And of course, everything Riot releases, you know, is going to be high quality. In fact, I'm surprised that I even secured this. I got in pretty early with the pre-order, otherwise I wouldn't even have this right now. And as expected, it's awesome. The exact same functionality as my full-size Riot XO right here, except utility knife form, and a lot cheaper than my Riot XO. This was not cheap, but it's also made of premium materials, titanium. The blade is Elmax. This is just aluminum. That's why it was only 78 bucks. And a lot of you guys out there might think that 78 bucks for a utility knife is crazy expensive, which yeah, it sort of is. But the facts are, I was expecting this to be a lot more money, so I was sort of happy to see that 78 bucks. But once you get something like this in your hands, you'll completely understand just the high-end feel of this Riot XOU. It's fantastic. And it has something my Riot XO doesn't have, this swivel magnetic lock right here. So it locks it open, so it doesn't just flop around when it's open, and it locks it shut, which is fantastic. Because this is tip down only, and I definitely don't want that blade coming out when it's in my pockets. Aluminum handles right here with the swivel point right there at the bottom. A black deep carry pocket clip that is reversible, and it's available in a lot of different colors. Once again, I went with the silver version, and it's available in 2 different design styles. I have the diamond frag pattern right there, but you can also get it with the speed hole version. Jimping on the top and the bottom of those handles, it feels absolutely fantastic to use this thing. There are no hot spots at all, and this quick changing mechanism right here, which is basically a stainless steel spring. Now, from a lot of the comments that I've read on my short video, I think this is the biggest concern for a lot of you guys out there, which is understandable. I've never seen a mechanism like this, and there's really no track record for it. But if you want that quick changing ability, this is going to be for you. So this is how I change this blade out. I put my thumb right there at the bottom, and then I push down on the very top right there until it releases, and that's it. Very, very easy. And it takes any standard razor blade size right there, so just put the blade right back in. And then you're going to see 2 little teeth right there at the bottom. That's going to line up right there. You can see once I line that up on the bottom, it's kind of hard to do in reverse, but once those are at the bottom, push down, and that clicks into place. That's it. Very fast, very simple. And I have yet to see a utility knife with a quick changing blade mechanism without a little bit of blade play. So that just comes with the territory. Plus, with the Riot XOU, you can see about half of that blade surface is usable. And I'll compare that to the Civivi Elementum utility knife right there. You can see just how much more of that blade surface is available for use on the Civivi versus that Riot XO. Now, I definitely prefer the more usable space on that blade, but there's something to be said about only using half of that blade as well, because you're basically getting double the life out of one blade. When I'm done with half of this blade, I take it out, flip it around, and that other half is still razor sharp. So even though I like all this blade surface, you're getting double the life with a system like this. And another problem with the Riot XOU is it's still a gravity knife, so in some states, this could be illegal. I live in New York State, which has some of the strictest blade restrictions in the country, and we just made gravity knives legal in 2019. But even though it's legal in this state, I could still be arrested if I carry a gravity knife. And I covered this subject in great detail in a video I released last year. If you guys want to see that, I'll put that link down below in my description box. Go check that out. There's a lot of good information there. But here's the beauty of carrying a gravity utility knife with a replaceable blade. When you're not using it, just take the blade out like this. And now when you're carrying this knife, it's just basically a fidget toy, no blade. So if you travel for work and want to carry this knife and you're traveling through a state where you know gravity knives are illegal, take out that blade. Nothing to worry about. And there's one last concern that I have with the Riot XOU is I haven't really seen any replacements for the stainless steel spring online. Now, I'm sure Riot will make a replacement stainless steel spring available, but as of right now, I haven't really seen anything. And because this is just loose, anything can really happen. I can be at work and put this down and get called away, and someone can kick this, can easily lose the spring. So Riot, get working on that. If these things aren't available yet, we really need to know if these springs will be available for purchase if we lose these. And then we have utility knives like the Peachy Design G9, which still has gravity knife functionality, but in my opinion, it is not a ripoff of the Riot XO. I've seen some comments saying that it's a ripoff design. I don't think so. I think Peachy Design made it their own here. Yes, it still has the swivel handle design like the Riot XO, but the blade changing mechanism here is what really sets this apart. It has this swivel locking mechanism right here. So right now it's just freely open, can do whatever you want with it. If you push it all the way left, that's the lockout position. So you see I can't even deploy that blade. And when the blade is open, you can still lock it in that open position, so that's nice. But this is where it really stands out. In that middle position right there is how you change the blade. So in that middle position, those handles freely open up, as you can see, and you have complete access to that blade. And once you change the blade here, you can see standard blades, there's a magnet right there, holds on to the blade, open those handles back up, and it just slides right back into position. So changing the blades on the G9 is awesome. There's a brass lanyard hole right there for attachments. The body's made of grade 5 titanium. There's some texturing right there at the bottom for your thumb. Everything feels very, very nice here. And it's super lightweight and compact. I'm going to show you the size differences here. So this is the Peachy Design G9 versus the Riot XOU, and then the G9 versus the Civivi Elementum utility. But honestly, all three of these are very lightweight and compact. You're not going to really tell the difference carrying these in your pocket, but the Peachy Design G9 is the most expensive at 89 bucks. And why is that? That titanium. The titanium is going to jack up the price. So 89 bucks for the Peachy Design G9, right around 50 bucks for the Civivi Elementum utility, and 78 bucks for the Riot XOU. So you might be asking yourself, why would you want to pay that much for an everyday carry utility knife when you can just carry around a $15 Milwaukee Fastback? And that is a great question. For me, it comes down to what I've been talking about for this entire video: lightweight and being compact. For a job site, yes, absolutely, I want to carry my Milwaukee Fastback, but for everyday carry, I'm choosing one of these instead. I don't want that big bulky Milwaukee Fastback in my pocket just walking around on a daily basis. Plus, if I'm in public and have to cut something, I don't want to pull out a big bulky Milwaukee Fastback or a DeWalt utility knife. I think I would feel a lot more comfortable pulling out something like this that looks more like a traditional everyday carry knife. You guys see what I'm saying here? You might get some weird looks pulling out a bulky utility knife in public. I don't know, that's just me. But of these three new utility knives, which one do you think you would carry more on an everyday basis? And let's base that on a few things. Do you gravitate more towards the traditional everyday carry knife look, such as the Civivi Elementum utility? Or do you gravitate more towards something like the Riot XOU with this extremely fast action? Or would you go with something super compact like the Peachy Design G9? Plus, I'm really curious your thoughts on this. Do you care that the blade doesn't move at all as long as you have the screw? Or would you rather have something that's super quick and easy to change but has a little bit of blade play? I feel like this is debated all the time. Would you rather go with changing the blade out quickly but having a little bit of play, or that rock solid blade but have to carry a screwdriver around, or a T8, sorry, to change that out? And yeah, just so you guys know, there is a little bit of play right here with the G9. With this quick changing blade mechanism, there's a little bit of play. Actually not as bad as the Riot XO, so the G9 has a little bit less play than the Riot XOU. Plus, the price is going to come into play right here. 78 bucks, 89 bucks for more premium materials but smaller, and only 50 bucks for the Civivi Elementum utility. So of these three, which one would you go with? And I have to apologize, this video went way longer than I expected. But realistically, it could have went way longer if I start talking about all these other utility knives that I have over here. There's just so much to go over when talking about everyday carry utility knives. But let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. And if you want to check out anything that you saw here today, I will have links down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe and stay far away from this Stinger utility knife. I think it was called the Godzilla. I forgot. I put it out of my head, but stay away from this. It looks cool, but it sucks. And go!